Bienvenuti, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Anywhere with Kristen. I am an Italian and an American, thanks to these. I have been living in my ancestral hometown of Caccamo, Sicily, which is behind me, for the past 158 days, and my time is now coming to an end. I came here for two distinct purposes. Number one, I came here to connect with my ancestral roots by staying here in my hometown of Caccamo and learning more about the people, the places, and the times in which they lived. How in the world could people leave such a beautiful place of such tranquility and beauty to go to live in a filthy tenement building in New York City? Nothing drives home harder than this question when you're here, because today Caccamo is a beautiful, peaceful, and sought-after location for expats. It's hard to believe that my own great-grandparents would have left this place. If you'd like to see where they lived, both here in Caccamo as well as the tenement building location in New York City that they immediately went to, you can click on this link. But secondly, I came here to do the residency program through dual citizenship through juris sanguini, or by blood. I was able to accomplish both of those things in this short period of time. I learned so much more than that, and I will be leaving here with far more tools in my toolbox. And in this episode, I'd like to share some of them with you. When I reflect on myself and my life, I think about how often people told me that my idea couldn't happen, that the goals or dreams or desires that I had, they couldn't be fulfilled. It was too out of the box. When my husband and I decided that I should come here to try to get the dual citizenship done before my son becomes an adult, I had a lot of naysayers. A lot of people who said, that can't happen. You're going to leave your family, your friends. Well, why would you do all of that to get this passport? How is that going to benefit anything? And I couldn't help but reflect this week on how that has kind of been what I've been hearing my whole life. Everything from becoming a professional actor, people saying, you can't make money doing that. How is that going to happen? You know how many hundreds and thousands of people want to do that? Well, it happened for 13 years, and I was lucky enough to meet my husband throughout that experience at the largest faith-based theater in the country. Years after that, my husband and I bought his ancestral family farm, and I had a vision to create a hospitality complex that included historic bed and breakfast suites, trendy accommodations, a tiny house, a glamper, a spa cottage, a rustic barn venue. People said, you can't do that. This is an old farm in the middle of the Amish country on a back road. Who's going to want to come and stay here? I wanted to start a library in the country of Haiti. People said, are you crazy? Why would you do that? How can you do that? How would there be accountability? You don't know where the money is going to be going. How do you know that the money is going to be used effectively? How would you even get books down there? What kind of computer center could you open? I said, I want to start an online computer center where kids go to college online and get degrees, and then we help them find jobs. What? That's crazy. Why would you do that? Why don't you care about people in your own country? It's going to be too expensive, too time-consuming. You don't live there. Again, some crazy way these things happen. Our business and computer centers, our libraries, they're still running today in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. If you'd like to see an episode on that, you can click here. I feel like my whole life has been misunderstood by people who really want the best for me sometimes. And then there's just some people who just think it's just completely crazy. I had a situation happen this week I want to share with you. If you've been following this channel, you know that the roads here in Caccamo, Sicily are crazy. They are super steep. The roads are very tiny, very, very compact. Most people, even locals, will not venture down some of these back roads here because they are that narrow and they're so difficult to maneuver. I was talking to a very close Italian friend of mine here. I told her that I would like to take her out for a ladies' day out with a few other ladies who made a real difference in my life since I've been here. She said, I would love to go. I said, wonderful. Would you be willing to drive? She said, yes, I'd be happy to drive. And then I told her, well, we're going to this certain town about 20 minutes away. She said, I can't do that. I said, well, why can't you do that? Is there something about your vehicle? She goes, no, I can't drive on the highway. I said, what? She goes, I'm too afraid to drive on the highway. There's people on either side. There's traffic going quickly. And I said to her, you are amazing. You drive on the most difficult uphill roads in Caccamo, Sicily, where I can take my arm on either side like this, and that is the length of the road. You can drive through those roads in reverse, in forward, with no issue at all. You're worried about being on the autostrada for 10 minutes. Yes, I can't do that. I don't trust myself. And I said, well, why don't you trust yourself? What are you afraid of? She said, I've just never been comfortable on the autostrada. Guys, if your whole life is about you being comfortable, of you just sitting on the sidelines and watching other things happen for other people, I challenge you to question yourself, because you are capable of far more than you even know. And guess what? God may not always tell you what the outcome is. My life has not always been roses, and sometimes I stick my big toe in the deep end, and the results aren't always what I want or hope for. I remember years ago having some challenges with the zoning in my business. I've had challenges with family. I've had challenges with relationships. Sometimes things don't pan out. But you know what, guys? No one else is going to walk in my shoes. I have to do the walking, and I have to make a decision every day. How am I going to walk in those shoes, and where am I going to go? I did not have the means to travel the way that I do now years ago, but I always had this 10-year vision plan that I was going to do it. That meant that I had to make small step decisions to get to the long-term goal. Most people in this world don't automatically have instant gratification. They have to be strategic in their decision making, and more importantly, strategic in their choices. Because at the end of the day, every little choice adds up to a big outcome. I know that everybody's situation is different, and not everybody has been dealt the same deck of cards. However, I think we kill our own dreaming. I think we kill hope, and we do it with ourselves, not always because circumstances make it happen. I think we're our own worst enemy. We have so much head trash in our heads of what we think should happen, what we want to happen, what can't happen, what hasn't been done. I didn't know anybody who's ever done that before. Guys, my heart for you and my message to you is that I came here knowing nobody, not one person in this town. I have found such incredible relationships. I came here knowing the most rudimentary Italian, not enough to carry on a conversation, not enough to do really any kind of level of anything beyond hello and goodbye. And now I have communications with people on a pretty good level. And if I were to stay here, it would be even more. I came here not knowing the outcome and having many challenges in my dual citizenship process that made me question the outcome and made me question the choices of coming here. Step out in faith. Whatever that means for you, step out with confidence. Be logistical, be strategic, be smart. But whatever you do, don't stop yourself before your dreaming even begins. because God has big things for you. For you, not for me. They won't look like me. They might look even more than me. It makes me so sad that so many people that I love and care about, both here in Caccamo, but also in my own country, who stop themselves from even beginning to dream. Don't do it. If you fail at something, what's the worst thing that can happen? You tried, and you can build your confidence in that trying. I had a friend over last night for dinner, an Italian friend that I've gotten to know over the past 5 months. And I asked her what was her favorite kind of music. And she said, the normal kind. And I was like, what does the normal kind mean? I said, normal for you is not normal for me. And she kind of looked at me and was like, well, it's normal music. And she proceeded to show me the top 20 Italian pop hits. And I thought to myself, I don't know any of these artists, and I've never heard any of these songs. It just gave me pause that in her world, this is normal. In this small town with these people, to say to them, I like normal music, this would be understood by probably 90% of this town. But in my own country, in my own background, I have never heard of these artists, and so therefore it's not normal for me. I found that a very interesting comment. I proceeded to listen to some of the artists, and they were amazing. I really liked the music, but it's not my normal. My days are limited here in Sicily, and I'm soon going to be heading home to my family in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I've had so many opportunities over the past weeks to connect with people I have gotten to know here, beautiful people, distant relatives, friends of friends, friends of family that I didn't know existed, so many people. I keep hearing the same vein of thinking. Kristen, you're going to forget about us. And when I say, why do you think that? They say, you're American. You have all of these diverse experiences. You're well-traveled. You go places. You have experienced new things. You've been to different countries. You'll forget us. Caccamo, I will never forget you. The experiences I've had here in these months will be taken with me to my grave. The value that you guys put on relationships, the heart that you put into every dish that you make, the hospitality that you open your doors to people you do not know is incredible. I've been to 21 countries, and I have been nowhere else on the planet where I have felt so embraced, so encouraged, and so cared about as a human being. Thank you, Caccamo. And now I'd like to leave a message for my Caccamese family and friends. Bellissima Caccamese personas. Grazie sinceramente per l'esperienza per me. Tuo aperto tuo portas. Hospitalità per me. Pazienza per me. Amore per io esperienza. Tuo benvenuti io in tuo casas per mangiare, tuo chiesas per pregare, tuo coras aperto. Sinceramente, Caccamo primo tutto in the monde per me. Grazie per tua pazienza, io lingua no perfetto in italiano. Grazie per pazienza. Io cuginis. Grazie per tutti. Io identità diverso. Grazie per tuo. Io contento io abitare in Caccamo per mezzo 5 mesi. Grazie per memorias. Difficile per me parlare in italiano. Exacto esperienza per me. Difficile in italiano. Difficile comunicazione in inglese, sì. Però io ritorno qua. Memorias tutti. Grazie sinceramente, Caccamese famiglia. Grazie, Signore Filippo Cegala. Grazie, Rosanna Medica in famiglia. Grazie, Rosetta Safrutto. Grazie, Rosanna e Sara Spica. Tutto bellissima cuginis. Grazie, tutti, Caccamese personas. Io ricordo tuo, per io tutto viva. Amore, e grazie. A dopo.